Hey, Richard Bryce here, Tennis Hacker. In this video, I'm going to show you what is probably the best agility training for 99% of tennis players. So hopefully you find this video helpful. If you do, it'd be great if you give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel before, much appreciated if you could do that as well. Okay, so you might have seen one of these things before. This is a speed and agility ladder, and you actually see quite a few videos of professional tennis players using agility ladders to kind of work on their movement. But we will not be using this because we're not professional tennis players with a limitless amount of time to spend trying to become better at tennis. These things can be great fun. They're not actually the best form of agility training, but they can be great fun for, doing conditioning and breaking things up and getting a little bit of fitness. But for most people to improve their agility in a way that's going to be meaningful on court, there's going to be something way more effective. And if you're limited on time like most people, it's going to be way more time efficient as well. So what we're going to be doing is using tennis footwork training, so practicing specific footwork patterns to develop our agility, because improving stuff is all about training in a way that's specific to what you're trying to get better at. And there's not much that's going to get you better than using the actual footwork patterns that you're going to need in a match, because most tennis players, their footwork isn't very good. For most players, even up until like the 5-0 level, the big issue, the big thing that needs working on is the footwork. So you might as well squeeze it in when you can. So we can use it for agility training, and you can also save time and kind of help it become a habit by doing it as part of your warm-up before you play. So I'll kind of show you the way that I would do it. I'm going to work on a specific footwork pattern initially. I'm going to be doing a split step, obviously. I'm then going to do a drop step, which is going to push me out to a wide forehand. I've done a crossover step, and then I'm going to hit a mogul step before doing a recovery step back into the split step. So this is a pattern that you're going to use a lot in tennis. So I'll start nice and gently, just because I'm warming up. I'm not very warm. Maybe I'll do 10 reps. And notice when I do this, I'm not going too crazy, but what I am trying to do is be technically sound, keep my head still through contact, land with good technique, look at the angle of my shin, and then that's going to help me push in for a crossover step. So I'm trying to work on the technique of all this stuff as I'm doing it. And that's kind of where part of the agility side comes in, but then we can challenge it to increase or add the change of direction component that people want. So I might get a little bit out of breath while I'm demonstrating this, but I'll go a little bit quicker. I'll just go for 10 reps. You can see I've got the technique just a little bit wrong on that one. Lost focus. I've also lost count. Talking and doing agility. Okay, but you get the idea. I started slowly, and then I've increased the level of speed. And then I can work on a number of different footwork patterns, and I recommend the ones that you work on are the ones that are specific to you. Now, if you're not sure what to work on, I've created a free resource for you. It's basically a free footwork/agility training program. It's going to take you around 25 minutes to run through, but if you do that on a regular basis, it is going to make a massive difference to your game. So I'll place a link to that down in the description so that you can grab hold of it, because what I want to do here is just make it a little bit more complicated. So I want to challenge the coordination side of it. So still a similar footwork pattern, but now after I do that crossover step, I'm just going to add in a little adjustment step. So just to check my pace and help me get better spacing between me and the ball. So I made a couple of technical errors there. I didn't quite get the footwork pattern in the way that I wanted. My excuse is I don't play right-handed anymore, so I've moved over to left-handed. I haven't practiced these footwork patterns in a while. I'm just going to make that excuse and stick to it, but hopefully you can understand what I mean. I'm sweating, my heart rate's increased, I'm breathing harder, I am much more ready to play. But obviously what we're trying to do here is we're trying to improve the agility. So depending what else you need to work on at the moment, there's different ways you could do it. The resource that I've got for you down in the description shows you doing agility in more of a cardio style. So if you need to get a more cardiovascular workout, or maybe you've got problems with your joints or something like that, and it's just not safe for you to be sprinting and changing direction as quickly as I can, the cardio version is going to be a good option. But obviously, if you do have better conditioning, you can be a little bit more specific with it and use it as a training tool and just kind of do interval style. So, think about a typical length of the point in tennis, 10 seconds, but if we increase that a little bit, so maybe 4 or 5 of those movements that I just did is going to be a really long interval. I could do those, I could maybe have 30 seconds rest in between, do that 6 times, rest for 90 seconds, do that 6 times with a 30-second rest in between. So kind of mimicking what you do when you play tennis, but training your agility, training your footwork pattern. It's a really effective way to use this stuff. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. If you've got any questions about how to apply it, obviously leave it down in the comment section. I'll try and get back to you as quick as I can. But otherwise, I hope you found the video helpful, and I will catch you next time.